Today I'm working on this bolt that sounds like a bag of nails and is firing at sporadic power. The guys at Ace Tech have sent me some free shit. They've sent me the Bifrost, Bifrost. They sent me the Bi and a blister. I've had a little bit of a play with both of them. They both charge up. I'll go for those later on. But they've also sent me a chronomajigger. And I'm always moaning that people don't own chronomajiggers. Before you go and buy fucking more pouches and more this and a new flappy thing for that and all this Geardo LARP fucking nonsense, before you go and do that, I always say go and buy a chrono. Now, I've been using the XT chronos. It served me perfectly. I've had no problems. I've gone through about 6 or 7 that I've bought for other people and so forth. I've had one that was very slightly lower on every shot than the other chronos, but I just readjusted and everything was fine. They're very cheap. This one I highly doubt is as cheap, but it is rechargeable, and from what I can see, it's as accurate as my scan. If I fire through the scan, it comes out minor differences. Obviously this is being very slightly more powerful than when it's going through the scan because this is in front, and then vice versa when I change that around. But this has got all the settings. It's actually really easy to use. I like easy to use because I'm thick. Most of you guys are a bit thick as well, but you do computer shit, so you understand more about this than I do. So it tells you your feet per second, the maximum it was, the minimum it was. It gives you an average, but it does other shit as well. And I'm going to press buttons now blindly. I've already set this up, so if I think it's that one there. So you can change what weight ammo. Click that one. And I've already set it up for 2 5s, 2 8s, 3s, 3 2s and 3 6s, because generally speaking, those are the weights that I use the most. You can change the millimeters, because that's something that you need to do. Keep it on 6 mil, you're not a twat. You probably are. It does rounds per second. It does the feet per second, the weight, the energy types. But again, that is all changeable. So if I want to go with the rate of fire, and I want to go with rounds per minute, I can do it that way. It's a really professional video, this, isn't it? There you go, rounds per second. Speed. Meters per second. Feet per second. Why you do that, I don't know. Rounds per second, that's what everyone cares about. Speed, meters per second or feet per second. Obviously, feet per second. I'm going to go with grams for weight, because this is Airsoft, not the real thing. Energy, joules or foot-pounds. Foot-pounds, obviously more for air rifles, so joules, there we go. Sorted. Automatic power off, you can change the time. I've not fucked with that yet, hang on. Let's do... Two minutes. No, 5 minutes the lowest. Fuck it, there you go then. Okay, USB. If it's plugged in, it just stays permanently on or off, whichever you prefer. Great, done. Brightness, don't care. Reset, probably won't touch that yet. And there we go. It seems accurate enough, so I'm going to use it and see what I think. I'm not going to attempt to break it, because why would you attempt to break a chrono? If you shoot through things and bust the fucking sensors and the light gate and everything, you're a twat anyway. But here is currently how this bolt is firing. This is hilarious, by the way, because this bolt sounds fantastic. Are you ready? Oh, that is fucking grim, isn't it? That's 265 on a .25. That's fucking grim. It sounds so awful. So, yeah, let's fix that. I really did like the bolt stuff, but it's becoming more and more unreliable. This is not a bolt mag. I don't have a bolt mag to go with this, but trust me when I say the problem seems to be with almost every mag I've tried apart from Lonex and the really old PTS high caps. Check this out, ready? I'm going to stand it up. Are you ready? Quite a bit of play up and down. If I go, look at left and right, ready? Forwards and backwards. There is so much fucking play that it's causing a few feeding problems. Now, feeding problems are becoming a big fucking problem with Airsoft AR-15 variants, because there are 10 million variations of 10 million mags by 10 million different people for 10 million different guns, and one fucking company internet goes, use this mag, it fits everything, and it fucking doesn't. It's a pain in the arse. So I've had to now write up a whole new list of do's and don'ts when I do work on people's guns, and one of those fucking do's is send me your mags. I need to know the guns feed on your mags. If you don't send me mags, I've got no idea if your gun is going to feed with other mags. The other thing is they're changing nozzle lengths now. More and more people are moving away from the 21.3 to 4 millimeters of a normal M4 nozzle, and more are now going down to 21.1. But in a lot of cases, they're turning up to 21.0, and it's getting quite hard to find fucking nozzles in 21.0. So it's getting really hard to make sure every mag fits perfectly against a decent hop unit and allows the ammo to feed absolutely flawlessly. So fuck me, send me your mags when you send me your guns, alright? Please, send me your mags when you send me your guns. It's fucking important. But I think it's obvious to see why this would have feeding issues. And when you've got problems like this, and this is moving around so much and bouncing so much that it's allowing ammo to misfeed, it's turning hop rubbers inside out, and I'm reasonably sure that's what's causing a few strippages inside here as well. Even on guns that are completely perfect, it will just suddenly go, nope, it will jam, and then we've got a problem and a strip. You can't be having jams, so Bolt needs to really sort that out. I'm going to go with modifying the mags to fit inside this receiver so that it feeds and fires properly. Right now it feeds fine, but I just can't fucking risk it. But yeah, it sucks. Now listen to how this fucking thing fires. Ready? And dare I? That's atrocious. I'm going to give you some 3 pointers on bolts. The reason I'm doing that is because I am not taking any more bolts on right now, because it's just not worth it. Now, even out the factory, look at all that thread lock. That is a lot of thread lock. That's a crazy amount of thread lock. And it means that when you thread lock something, you've got to heat it to get it out. Obviously, the wires live where the heat's going to go. So right now, I can't even get that off because, again, it's thread locked on. So I'm telling people to do the most minimal amount of work to their bolt as possible. And in this case, I'm going to go with a Warhead motor. He wants to use NIMI batteries, which is fine. He's going to use 9.6 NIMIs. On semi-auto, it's going to be as snappy as it needs to be. And I'm only going to change out the motor, the bevel gear, the spring. I'm going to give a bit of a reshim, but that is all that I'm changing, apart from the hop unit and the barrel assembly, because the bolt stuff is pretty fucking trash. So I've already gained 50 FPS nearly, just by changing the hop unit alone.
3 hours later.
Shit happens. There was no way to get that off. I did everything I could, and that does not fucking come off. I've had the blowtorch on there for a good 4 or 5 minutes, still couldn't get the screws out, and I dare say the wire underneath there is now completely fucking melted. So, more advice: if you are going to go with a bolt and you want it to last for as long as possible, like I said, you've got to fucking thread lock it. So your only option, really, my suggestion, is what I tell everyone, and that is to run the wires out the front and get yourself a PEC box on the rail system. Or a ready mag on the side. That's really cool as well. But then you can't see your Daniel defense markings, and what's the point? So PEC box on top, wire it to the front on a few quick detach bullet connectors, and then you can get in and out of your gun really easily and quickly. That is my best of fucking advice to you right there. That is my best fucking advice. Do what I fucking say.
6.5 hours later.
You look inside where you get to the gearbox. You can see the bevel gear down there. You look on the left-hand side and the upper left-hand side. The gearbox casing is not straight with this pistol grip. It's absolutely pissed. Now, I don't know if it's the pistol grip causing it, the gearbox casing, the receiver lower, or all of it together. So these are the QC things that I find with Bolt. And it's getting a little bit complicated now. Really got to sort your shit out there, Bolt. That's why the gun sounded like a bag of nails before. It's because the motor pinion is not going directly downwards in and then making contact. It's going in, in fact it's going this way, and it's pressing on the fucking gear.
Many hours later.
Right, absolute change of plan. The only reason to buy this bolt over any other bolt would be the danger defense markings, and the only reason to buy a bolt in the first place is the recoil. However, the gearbox casing is from two completely separate batches. So the gears don't line up, the switch assembly doesn't line up, and that's why it sounded so bad. And obviously it's because of that the pistol grip doesn't fit properly either. So we're going to completely remove the gearbox from the equation. We're going to put a MOSFET in there, change the gears out, because these gears will not work with an optical MOSFET, thanks Bolt. Massive fuck up. Just atrocious. Atrocious. This is officially going to be the last Bolt that I ever work on, because the quality of their product is fucking shocking. Absolutely fucking shocking. This is a £500 gun. Recoil is going to come out, we're going to remove it. It's going to have a normal gearbox put inside it. I'm going to keep it wired to the front. I've got no choice, because obviously we can't get the wires out of the back of the stock tube. So that's that. Thanks, Bolt. Terrible, terrible, terrible. And let's not forget that I was defending Bolt, saying actually I quite like Bolt. Of the guns of recoil, I think they're the best. Well, even though KWA are sending guns out right now without any fucking straight gears, like the shafts on the gears, the axles, they are not straight. You can't get hold of anybody for customer care. And if you're an importer or distributor of the fucking KWA AEGs, you don't get anything out of them. They are completely fucking silent. So, well done, Bolt. You are now officially one of the worst brands to work with. Well done.
Many unbearable hours later.
And there we go. This was not meant to be a long video, so it's scrappy and it's all handheld. But, you know, this is how fucking life turns out, isn't it? So, it's done. It's not done in the conventional way, but it's done. Now, remember when I say to people, you know, do you want to leave some of your old shit behind, stuff you don't need, stick in the bits box to help somebody else? Boop. That's what this shit is for. Very simply put, I've got nothing left in this Bolt, basically. I've gone through everything that people have left behind that is of 90% quality and above, so I can make this motherfucker run. This is now containing a G&G gearbox casing from a basic GR16. It's still got the original Bolt piston and Bolt piston head, but I've put in my own cylinder head. It's got a G&G nozzle and it's got a G&G tappet plate. So for the people that have left G&G bits behind, thank you very fucking much. I put an Asta V2 inside it because it's the only thing I had that was front wired. So it's the only thing I could put in there to make sure it would go, because obviously I still can't get the fucking wires out the back of here. The pistol grip, I have removed material. I have run both the wires up the front and then both up the back from the inside of the pistol grip to give as much clearance room as possible, because the motor still sits very slightly pissed. It does not have the original hop unit, hop rubber, nub, or the original barrel. I've changed those out to ZCI and a maple leaf rubber. The spring inside is an M115, because again, the differences inside this receiver and outer barrel means that the nozzle is never the perfect length. I can either have it too fucking short and it drops massive power, or it's too long to feed ammo reliably. So I've had to bump the power up. I would have used an M105 or M110 spring and a bolt, but I've had to go with an M115, but it works. And warhead motor, because the guy does want to use nimmies. Obviously there's no recoil anymore, we've had to take it out. But there's also no cover parts, because these only fit the Bolt gearbox casing, which is the same as the LCT M4 gearbox casing. Fucking builders! Beep! 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 Fucking 2 weeks they've been here now in their fucking cherry picker. Wankers. That means if you want to get to his hop up, we need to get inside there with a sharp thing and pop it. And then it comes open. Then he can adjust it. This I've set up for .32s, so it's got the most effective range as possible. It also means that that is completely removable. However, because it is a nice grabbing spring, that's not just going to pop out. But if you take it to the side, squeezes it, it does come out. So thank you to people who leave behind things for other people, because, yeah, alright, he spent £500 on a gun. He did have a budget involved, but we got to the point where we discussed he was going to pay for my time and stick it on the wall broken. And there's no way I'm going to let that happen. Now, when jobs like this happen, I lose out technically because I'm not doing somebody else's job. This is how a job that should have been done today won't get done today because now I'm doing this. And it's getting towards the end of the day, but I'm still going to try and squeeze in an SR25 build or an AK build, whichever I think I can squeeze in today. But it's done. Bolt, you need to be fucking disgusted with yourself. Not should, need. You need to be fucking disgusted with yourself because the quality of the shit that you are pumping out is absolutely appalling, and this will be the very last Bolt that I work on unless there's one over there that I can't fucking remember taking in which case I may turn that job down and return it to the customer with a free patch because they've been out there without their gun for a little while. So yeah, it's just not worth me doing bolt guns anymore. It's not worth it because the quality of their stuff is dog shit. Just dog shit. There are still bolts that I've done a couple of years ago that are running beautifully. There are still guns I've done 3 or 4 years ago that are running beautifully, but they've very clearly cut some fucking corners because this is trash. Look at this. You know? It's hot trash. Again, I've done modifications, the mag sits a bit tighter, but he's not going to be using that mag, so I can't make it too tight. Safe. Semi. And auto, I've set the 3-shot burst. Merry fucking Tuesday.